On October 23, 2013, California State Assembly member from District 22, Kevin Mullin, and San Mateo County Supervisor Warren Slocum hosted the first annual Connect13 conference at YouTube headquarters in San Bruno, California. Strengthening communities through social media was the theme, bringing together social media experts and San Mateo County attendees from business, public, and government sectors to discuss the opportunities and challenges of using social media to communicate, collaborate, legislate, and participate. Peninsula Television is proud to bring you this conference, and all of the segments are available on YouTube and at www.pentv.tv/Connect13.
Good afternoon, everyone. So when Warren and I were discussing our vision for this event, we both saw the need to recognize individuals who are making a difference in government through the use of technology. As we have already discussed, the technology is all around us. It's what we do with it that matters. We're looking for individuals who have not only embraced technology, but have used the technology to enhance and improve how government functions. How is technology allowing government to be more responsive and better address constituent needs? How have services been elevated? We're looking for a vision and leadership and equally important results. I think our selection for this inaugural award of Brian Moura nails that description. I'll turn it over to Warren to talk about today's honoree.
Thank you, Kevin. So many of you probably know Brian Moura already, and when Carol wrote his introduction, his bio went on for 4 pages. And I'm going to apologize to Brian right now because I'm not going to read all of that. But as you know, he was the former assistant city manager for the city of San Carlos, and he really did pioneer the use of technology to inform, respond, and engage the citizens of that city. He's always been a believer that government was better when its electorate was informed and used technology and the internet to make the city of San Carlos more open and more transparent. And he truly is a trailblazer in this regard. But not only was he a believer in technology, I also believe, as Kevin said earlier, Peninsula Television is here filming this event today, that Brian was one of the people who was instrumental in the creation and founding of Peninsula Television. He's played a leading role in a number of really major initiatives in the Silicon Valley over the years, including Smart Voter, Smart Permit, Smart Schools, Challenge 2000, Net Day, Wireless Silicon Valley, and most recently the 42-agency Silicon Valley Climate Protections Task Force. And I think I first met Brian when he and 4 or 5 other people from Joint Venture Silicon Valley put their heads together one afternoon in a room and dreamed about a future where voters could get truly enhanced voter information on the web. And the result of that meeting was something called Smart Voter. And for those of you that have been candidates, Kirsten, Keith, and others, I'm sure that you've used Smart Voter to post your information and reach voters. And somewhere along the line, the League of Women Voters got connected with Smart Voter in the very early days, and a woman named Kathleen Weisenberg and others, and Brian and I got together and actually worked on this thing called Smart Voter. And there was a fellow back then who's now with GreatSchools.net up in the city, Bill Jackson, who sort of led the charge. But it was really Brian Moura who gave birth, I think, to the idea, along with his colleagues, of Smart Voter. And it started in San Mateo County and Santa Clara County, and is now in places throughout the nation. So a real credit, I think, to the League of Women Voters Brian Moura and his vision. Just most recently, Brian created a partnership with the city, schools, parent volunteers, and tech companies that led to San Carlos Schools being a beta site for the National Net Day, a program that was recognized by then Vice President Al Gore. And subsequently, a franchise agreement was negotiated with Comcast that led to a high-speed fiber optic iNet that connects every city and school building in San Carlos. And that'll be in effect, I think, until the year 2020. And when you hear fiber optic network, that was all made possible, I think, through Brian's work. He's been the chair of numerous committees that are too numerous to list here. At least we go off track again with our time. And in 2012, he was named as a Public Technology Institute Fellow. And he was also a prior recipient of the PTI Technology Leadership Award and co-editor of the book, which I know you all want to get, called Smart Permit, A Blueprint for Success. One of the things that Brian and I just recently talked about, and he was good enough to share with me, was the city of San Carlos's effort in partnering with Cisco to basically deliver free Wi-Fi access along the Laurel Street corridor, so that if you were in San Carlos having dinner at one of the great restaurants in San Carlos, you'd be able to access this free Wi-Fi. And let that be a model to all of us. We should all be offering free Wi-Fi in our parks, in our city buildings, and along commercial corridors, following Brian's lead. So Brian is the first winner of the Connect13 award, and we have a beautiful award for you, and we'd like to call upon you to say a few words. Brian, if you'll join Kevin and I. And give him a big round of applause. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
And his award is here. Look at that. Isn't that a beautiful black box?
Wow.
Gorgeous.
Talking about technology. Let's see if I can get this open. And Kevin, you pull it out.
Hold this for you.
Okay. I shouldn't get my fingerprints on this or Marcy's going to kill me. But here is the first annual Connect Award for Civic Engagement presented to Brian Moura. And let's give him a big hand. And thank you so much, Brian, for your leadership. Really appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Warren and Kevin. I've worked with both of these gentlemen for years, and they've been real pioneers in this area as well. You know, when I first heard about this award, I was a little surprised since I recently transitioned into the world of semi-retirement and consulting, but I'm very honored. You know, when I started in local government in the late 1970s, which goes back a few years, you know, we didn't really have many tools to inform the public. You know, we had legal ads, we had postcards, phone calls. There really weren't many choices. And if you look at what's happened over the years in terms of things like email, the internet, and things like that, the tools that are available today to city government are just amazing from my point of view, and it really has stepped up our ability to talk to the community. And certainly in the early 90s, San Carlos, I was working with our IT director at the time, Connie Dillard, and we were putting out hypertext documents on how to start a business in San Carlos using some of the original online services like Prodigy and CompuServe and AOL, for those of you who remember those days. And a year later, when we were working on Net Day, as Warren had mentioned, it turned out, again, one of the beauties of being in San Mateo County and in Silicon Valley, we had a lot of school parents who were in the industry. And actually, one of the school parents who was working with us on Net Day, a gentleman from Sun, introduced me and Connie to a guy named Howard, who it turns out had invented the cable modem of all things, if you can believe that. And so we went to this nondescript office across the street from Apple in Cupertino and saw this thing the size of a pizza box. It was a prototype, and he was explaining how someday this would be in almost every home and people would have high-speed access to the internet. And we were saying, it sounds pretty amazing. And that was the point at which I first saw Mosaic and the World Wide Web, and as soon as I saw it, I said, that's the deal. We're going to need to do that. And we partnered with the Association of Bay Area Governments, and San Carlos was the beta site for the web. And actually another city, Antioch, was prototyping another technology called Gopher, which didn't quite take off the way the web did. And then over the years, working with joint venture and county and many of the cities, And the school district, of course, we worked on Net Day. We worked on a number of the projects that Warren had mentioned. And as I look back now, I'm very proud of the work that was done in San Carlos and by our staff, our IT department, and many of the folks up on the stage with me and that I've worked with other agencies over the years. It's been wonderful to collaborate with so much talent in Silicon Valley. And even though I think one of the challenges all of us have in local government being in this area is the expectations are set very high for us to deliver on using technology in local government, I think because of the resources we have sort of a head start in that, and I'm real proud to have been a part of that. So thank you both for this honor, and I'll certainly treasure it in the years ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Congratulations.
Let's get a quick photo op with you.
Sure. Absolutely.
Just for hands there.
Wipe off the fingerprints.